Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about my Miyabi cosplay because as we all know, Miyabi is coming out in Zenless Zone Zero in the next update. I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited. I'm super excited. I've saved up over 300 plus summons for Miyabi. Basically, when I started Zenless Zone Zero all the way till now, I have not summoned a single time. So I do have quite a lot of summons saved up. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the very first thing I want to go over is this is not a faithful one-to-one replica of Miyabi. I did take a lot of creative liberties over here in order to customize it a little bit to make things look a little bit nicer. However, with that out of the way, we are just going to head straight into the salon so that I can show you guys all of the different parts that I'm using for this Miyabi cosplay. So the very first thing I want to go over is, of course, the head. Now, I did hide my webcam over here so that you can see everything in more detail, so I'm not blocking anything. But basically, the very first thing is, of course, the face type. The face type is the anime face. As you can see, I did stretch her face a little bit to the longer side, but I did keep the proportions and all of this stuff in regular default square face, and that's how you get this shape of the face. The next thing is the hairstyle. I did use the fine snow hair. This one is pretty expensive. Again, this is one of those creative liberties that I took, as Miyabi's hair isn't actually like this. It's kind of like split in the middle. There's like one big strand of hair on the left, one big strand of hair on the right, but nevertheless, this works out pretty well. As for the hair color, it is just black, very simple, just all the way to the very bottom left corner or the bottom right corner will do, and you're good to go there. As for the neck, as you can see here, this is kind of the default shape. It's the one that's always worked for me. As for the eyes, I did use Gazelle's eyes. As you can see, Gazelle's eyes does have that little tint over here that kind of looks perfect, just like how Miyabi's eyes look like in the game. As for eye detail, you can see I've got this little crookedness. Adds a little bit more of a tilt so that you have those softer eyelashes. As for the eyebrows themselves, we are using cordonal eyebrows, so it's like that. Then for the eyelashes themselves, I am using the double snippet eyelashes, and that gives you that little cutesy thing at the end over here and over here. Then for the nose, nothing crazy here, just kind of the default anime nose. You know, most anime characters don't even have a nose, so you know, just a little smidget will be good enough. As for the mouth, I did still want to do the uwu type of mouth shape, so that's literally you just drag it all the way to the smallest to the top and then drag this all the way down, and then you mess around with these two sliders right here, and boom, you end up with the uwu mouth right here. Very, very easy. The teeth, I didn't do anything here. The ears, I didn't do anything here either. The makeup, I did use Monica Cheek slider over here, as well as the Banasini flush, which is the little lines over here. You can see these like little 4 lines on her cheek. That's literally this right here, and then you can mess around with the sliders if you want it more prominent or less prominent. So I have mine just a little bit, so that there's just these little lines to showcase a little bit more. And then as for the expressions, I do have it on natural. However, I did change the slider over here. You can see that in order to get the uwu mouth, you do have to use the mouth type U, and you do have to slide this a little bit so that you do get that shape. Now moving on to the body type, we have the chest, of course. So my character is a little bit more on the wider side. However, since you're going to be wearing so many layers of clothes, it honestly doesn't matter that much, as this will not be as visible. However, the chest size is going to be very visible due to the armor piece that we use. So you do need to mess around with the chest size in order to make it, you know, however big or however small that you want. So I've decided to go with medium because medium is premium. Moving on, next is the shoulders. I've kept all of this at default. The waistline, I did mess around a little bit, but again, it doesn't really matter that much, as you're not really going to see that big of a difference. As for the skin, I am using base body type 2, and again, just like, you know, whatever skin color you want to end up with. I stuck with just the default one, and that was good enough, and with a subcolor skin of red just to show off a little bit more of the blush or just more skin color basically. Then for the body paint, this is kind of not really that important actually, but I did use the Raise Up Body Highlights. If you use this, it does make her thighs look a little bit thicker, but then again, Miyabi's thighs are literally covered, so you're never going to see them. And it also adds like a little bit of a blush on the shoulders, but again, with my Miyabi design, it doesn't matter at all because you're not going to see it. But I did add the gloves over here because, well, Miyabi does wear gloves, so that's why we added Zenith's Chief gloves over here. So yeah. Now moving on to the biggest question that everyone asks, and that is, what is this outfit? So we're going to go over here, we're going to go to layering wear, and the outfit is called Fine Snow T2/B2. Now, when you just wear this outfit, you will not have this armor piece at the side, including this little skirt, all right? This is an accessory, which I'll go over in a second, in order to just make the outfit look a little bit more layered, but the basis of this outfit is the Fine Snow T2. Now, I do have an outerwear, which is the Foxian Tech, which is the little jacket that she's wearing on top, which actually gives you the whole kimono type of sleeve thing over here on both sides, so that it looks more like Miyabi, because Miyabi does have like that kind of fusion Japanese techno type of wear, and in order to achieve that, we do need the Foxian Tech. As for our innerwear, it really doesn't matter because again, you're not going to see it, but I do use N Heartbreaker because all of my characters are totally say so. Now, as for cast parts, this doesn't matter. Outfit doesn't matter. The ornament display, we did have to hide the base wear / set wear ornament 2 over here, because if you don't hide this, there's this like sleeve thing that will destroy the look, because you do get that kimono sleeve on one side if you do wear the Fine Snow outfit, but I didn't need that because I am wearing the Foxian Tech outerwear, which gives me the sleeves on both arms, so that's why we have to hide this. Everything else is visible. Now to the meat, and that is of course the accessories. We are 17 out of 18 on the accessories over here. The very first thing is we do have the Brandish's Anima ears, which is the ears over here. We did have to mess around quite a lot in order to get the ears to look exactly like this, and here are all of the different sliders. We did have to mess around with the rotations of the x-axis and the y-axis. We did have to change the size as well, and yeah, basically here are all the sliders, here are the numbers. You just need to copy this and you'll be good to go, and you'll get these exact ears. Now as for the armor piece over here, it is the plate guard. So in order to get this, again, you just keep everything default. I did change the size a little bit, make just a slight bit smaller so it doesn't clip through everything, and that's pretty much it. You just kind of slap it on and it just adds more layers. It makes this outfit look a little bit more complicated, makes it look a little bit nicer. Now as for the tie, I did use loose tie. Now there is a different accessory where you can have a proper tie. However, the reason why I added this scarf was because messing around with the loose tie was very complicated. So let me just show you when I take off the scarf over here. You can see when I remove the scarf, the loose tie, you can see that it doesn't look as nice because, you know, it's not like all the way up here, and then you see this little zipper thing and it just doesn't look as nice. So instead of trying to adjust the tie to push it up here, I just decided to add a scarf over here so it covers it up, and you know, if you can't see it, out of sight, out of mind. As for the little brooch over here, she does have her little name tag in the game. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that resembles a name tag, so I literally just put a little stamp over here. Now, you can change the design of this stamp. It's actually very easy to do that. You simply go to stickers over here. You can actually change the design over here depending on what you want. So let's say that you want a yellow design, or you want the white design, or maybe you even want the HoloLive stuff. You can even change it to the HoloLive designs as well if you want. But for me personally, I'm sticking with the regular, simple, just flowers, you know, nothing too crazy. Now, do keep in mind that we did get from the seasonal shop, there are some new pins. So if you don't want to use the brooch over here, we do have these superfan badges, so you can use these badges instead if you don't have the roulette brooch over here. So that is another alternative. Other than that, there's nothing else really crazy about the outfit. I pretty much went over all of the important stuff. The rest is like, you know, voice. I am using Alpha's voice from the Eminence in Shadow. The motion, I'm using everything from the Eminence in Shadow, so all of the different shadow motions. And then, yeah, other than this, the rest is the same. You can try turning on cell shading if you want. With cell shading, it does look a little bit more Zenless Zone-ish, I suppose. But personally, I don't really like the cell shading that much. I think without the cell shading, there's a little bit more detail and it just looks more layered in my personal opinion, versus with cell shading, it looks a little bit more flat. And so it's really dependent on your personal preference. Again, you can mess around with the outline emphasis as well as the shadow density. I literally keep mine at 26 and 39 because this is the one that looks the most similar to Genshin Impact cell shading. So if you are cosplaying like for Hu Tao or something, you can mess around with this, or you can just stick with these sliders right here, just like with what I have. I do have a Hu Tao cosplay as well. If we go over here, we do have Hu Tao over here. As you can see, Hu Tao doesn't look as good when it's not in cell shading, but if we activate cell shading over here, I do think it looks a little bit nicer. I might need to change the color though. I need to make these a little bit darker with cell shading on. As you can see, with cell shading off, the colors are darker, so you do need to adjust the colors based on whether you do have cell shading on or off.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.